another video. This week we had a couple of really huge battles, specifically a city capture and then a capital defense. So I'm going to go through a couple of those VODs, have some really good footage, and just wanted to talk about different PvP strategies that can hopefully help all of you out when you're partaking in some of these things. Specifically, I'm going to talk about what you want to do to prepare for your battle. I'm going to talk about healing strategies because that is an important aspect of it. Then I'm going to talk about a bunch of different combat strategies like rallying, speeding up, using resources, taking people on and off your wall, attacking from distance, and things like that. So hopefully this will be a fun one to watch, and let's get right into it. So in terms of preparing for battle, right, it's really, there's a couple. First off is positioning, right? So I'm just going to go through this one a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't zoom out too well on this, but this is what you're seeing now is our city capture that we did on Saturday Reset. And all of this is on a different war zone, and all the yellow bases are basically the people from that war zone trying to defend the capital or help defend the capital, or not the capital, excuse me, the city. And then the blue bases are of course our alliance. And you can see like we're kind of spread out a little bit here, like wherever we can find space. You can, when it comes to city captures, you really want to position as early as you can. We try to do this about 12 hours earlier. We try to do virus bombing and things like that, but this was right after the virus bomb nerf, unfortunately. If you're curious about virus bombing, you can check out my previous video on a stronghold capture that shows that in more detail. But yeah, it's really about like we got in position as early as we could, about 12 hours before, and basically stayed there throughout the whole day. So I'm gonna play this a little bit, and you'll see a little bit better, right? Like we try to, you can see a little bit of the landscape and how many yellow bases there are compared to our blue bases. So yeah, that's the pre-positioning component in terms of a city capture. Get there as early as possible. Now, for capital defense, so we lost in the invasion rights, so we have to defend our capital. So this is about 20 minutes before the battle can actually start. And this isn't, the full amount of people we got going, but really you can see like these are all people from our server in our alliance. And really we're just trying to take up as much space as we can around the cannons and the capital to make the invading war zone, make it as hard as possible for them to get in there. And you can see like even above, like you can see at the top of the screen there, you can see the red bases, which is the other war zone. And when you're the invading war zone, you typically have people, even in the even in the defending war zone, you have people that maybe they feel a little bit too weak. Maybe they don't want to feel like they would be useful in the mud. So what they're doing is they're lining up against the grass for those that are shielded, to just continuously send garrisons to the cannons in the capital. And this is something that, the war zone that we were facing did really well. They have a ton of them lining the grass. So that's basically the pre-positioning of what you kind of want to try to do when it comes to either a war zone defense or capturing a city. Now, in terms of what you want to do for yourself for preparing for one of these big battle events, is to do your best to get your drill grounds pretty much capped, right? You want them to be as full as possible. Unfortunately, I didn't quite record that myself, but you can see like at the start of the battle, but you can see like the battle is already 5 minutes in, and my drill ground is still like fairly full. And that's like an important part, is making sure you have as many troops as you can ready leading up to like a few days before the event. Try to do the best you can to minimize your troop loss, and try to build that up as much as you can. And then you can also see here, right, my ICU. I have my ICU prepared, right? So you can see like right above the ICU, I have troops ready to collect. And I did this quite a while ago in preparation, because I think the ICU, I forget how many, I think it's like a 2-day cooldown. So I capped it and I filled it up. So I'll show you actually an example. So if I go to when I actually collected it, it should be right around here. Right. So you can see I'm about to collect my ICU, right? So I collect it, and you can see I have another use right away. And that's, it's a 2-day cooldown, but I knew this big battle was happening. So I had it prepped, and that's something that not everybody knows. It's the same thing with the hospital. So what you can do is you can fully heal your ICU, or you can use the ability or fully heal your hospital, and your troops can be ready to collect. But it also empties out your hospital and also the ICU to allow troops to get in there. And so you have the ability to have all the troops ready to collect, and then also let your ICU or hospital fill up when you have troops ready. So that's something that definitely you should take advantage of when thinking about preparing for a big battle. So along these lines, I want to talk a little bit about healing strategies. Like the most important thing you can do when you're taking part in big battles, whether it's strongholds, cities, capital wars, enemy buster, never ever ever let your hospital get full, because the second your hospital is full, you just start losing troops like crazy, because all of your injured troops die since your hospital is full. So that is the number one important thing that I want to emphasize. But in terms of healing yourself or healing troops, now I'm a warlord, so I guess I just want to quickly show, right? I have this urgent care which I can use, and this instantly heals 5,000 troops from my hospital on basically a 3-day cooldown. So this is something that you can take advantage of if you are a war leader. So I just wanted to kind of point that one out. This is it's a pretty decent skill, but I would say it kind of depends, because there's ways that you don't you can avoid getting to the point where you have that many troops in your hospital, and I'm going to show you that in a second here. So first thing is I want to show you a mistake that I made after I used that warlord healing ability. You can see I let my hospital is 25 70, so I have a ton of space still in my hospital, but you can see I initiated a heal of 2542 whatever time ago. And of course, because I did so many, I'm going to have to speed it up in order to get those back, right? And this is a mistake that I made. So here I'm using my speed ups, as you can see, to heal up my troops. And the mistake that I made is that when you have a ton of people online, and this kind of depends on some research levels of your alliance, and how many speed ups, or how much help that you get from healing troops. But what I should have been doing is healing less. And let me show you what I mean by that. So if I go a little bit further in the video, let's go to right here. So here I'm in a similar situation, right? You can see like I have a bunch of troops in the hospital. And if I heal them all at the same time, it's going to take 18 hours or 19 hours basically to heal that full amount. And if I get the speed ups from people, that's going to knock off a chunk of time, but it's not going to be enough to have everything fully healed, right? So what I do here is you can see I slide this down to something much smaller than that. And this number, it's kind of, like I said, it depends on your alliance and how many people are online. But now this is a 3 hour and 30 minute heal. And when I initiate this, right, so I initiate the heal and I ask for help, and you can see that, boom, instantly those 400 troops are ready to collect and they're fully healed. So I can collect them and then I can do it again. And this allows you to heal all the troops in your hospital very quickly without the need of speed ups. So this is something that you should absolutely do when you're in a big battle, because of course you should have a lot of people online to speed those heals up and get your troops back quickly. So that's another thing to do. So see here again, boom, instantly I get them back, I heal them, and it's just like a chain. You want to be ready to constantly help heal your allies. So that's the what I want to talk about in terms of healing. So now let's talk about combat. So for this city capture, really it's all about rallies. So at the start, like once the city capture is ready to go, you can see that I immediately start a rally. And you can see based on my positioning, right? I'm pretty far out. And what I've decided to do for my alliance is, because I'm far out, I'm letting people know, hey, enjoy my rally. I'm going to speed up the march. And obviously, this costs diamonds, 1,000 diamonds per rally. So you can see I initiate the rally, and once it's full, just waiting, here's one more person joining. So once it's full, it starts, and I immediately increase the speed with 1,000 diamonds by 50%. So, and one thing I have to do better is checking off that box to not remind me again. So you can see a 1 minute rally turns into a 30 second, or 1 minute march turns into a 30-second march. And this is big, for events like this. So I would say if you have some people that are spending, or have people that have, definitely save some diamonds to do that when you're attacking. And you can see, right? Like you can see right there, the amount of rallies that we have going on in our alliance. Like this is the name of the game. Have as many rallies as you can going. And I would say at least have your first and second squads be part of that as a player. If you're a really, if you have really big squads, have 2 or 3 like huge squads, you can also send single attacks to the city. But for everyone else, I would say just 2 to 3 squads, whatever you feel comfortable with, just send them out, fill those rallies, get those rallies going. Cause it's a numbers game, right? The more people, more rallies you got going on, the more difficult it is for the opponent to keep garrisoning the city, and eventually you'll break through. So that's really the name of the game when it comes to city captures. Now, when it comes to the capital war, it's a little bit different. I want to quickly show, one thing that I used a rally for early on in the fight is trying to hit someone that is stronger than me, because I know I can't break their defenses on my own, but I could potentially do it as a rally, right? So let me pull that up here. I think it was about. Just bear with me, as there's a lot of stuff here. So you can see, there's this level. Oops, there's this level 30 that I can't beat on my own. So you can see I have a rally going, and there's a bunch of people in my rally, and our rally hits him, and you can see it successfully breaks through. My troops died, but because we had a rally going, we successfully did that. Now, honestly, in hindsight, this probably wasn't the best idea. This was before the Capitol War actually started. So that's what this person's job is to try to make people lose troops. But again, we're also having that person lose troops by hitting them. But, that's an example of using a rally in the Capitol War. In terms of rallying the Capitol or the cannons, that's a lot harder to do in the Capitol War. In like a city capture, right? You can rally from far away. It's a quick march to get to that rally, right? You saw when someone rallied to me initially, there was someone that rallied from across the map, and they got to me, very, very quickly in this. The last person that joined my rally came from pretty far away. Like you can see there's someone that comes in late, right? This is from across the way, but they still come quickly. In the Capitol War, your speed is reduced significantly. So you really do not want to rally unless you're specifically rallying, like you have set pods around you where people that are located around your base are rallying to you. Otherwise, it just takes way too long to do that. So that's what I would have to say about rallying when it comes to PvP in general. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is using resource tiles. And resource tiles can be very handy when it comes to any type of PvP, whether it's capital defense or enemy buster, things like that. What it can do is usually when you go to resource tiles, your speed is faster. So you're a little bit, you can get to your opponent faster. And the other thing that it allows you to do is it doesn't alert your opponent, right? You can use a resource tile to get close to the opponent and then attack them when they're unawares. So I want to show you an example of that right here. Okay. So, and you can see here's my healing strategy in action again, right? Like I'm healing less number of troops. So you can see right now, I'm looking for a resource tile that's in line with the person I want to hit. So that there's the march going. So now I'm going to find the person that I wanted to hit in a second. And you can see that here's my troops, and the resource tile I chose is going right through their base, right? So I'm not alerting them that I'm going to attack. And right when I'm over their base, I'm going to hover over and I'm going to prepare to attack them with the troop that I sent, right? Right. So you can see I did that and I hit them right away. I lost. So this was me, not scouting and I thought that this person may have no one on defense. But and at any rate, that is the strategy that you can use for resource tiles. Or that's one way, I should say, that you can use resource tiles. Now, another thing that you can do with resource tiles is on a similar vein, like I'm not that far from the person that I just attacked. But one thing you can do is you can use them from distance. So I'm going to show you an example of someone doing that to me. So a little bit later in the battle, let's go to around the 120 mark. All right. So in this situation, like I'm getting attacked, right? So I see I'm getting attacked. I'm getting attacked by this person. And, I'm looking around a bit, like I'm not sure where they are. And so yeah, here's the hit. So I get hit. And just taking a look, and I noticed that person beat me. I had someone on my wall. So this is another thing that you want to do when it comes to attacking and defending, is paying attention to who you have on your wall. And it really depends, right? It's something you have to be situationally aware of. There's not like a steadfast rule of you should or shouldn't have anyone on your wall. So in this case, I really shouldn't have, because now I just lost a bunch more troops because I had people on my wall. And I know I'm getting attacked again, right? I'm getting attacked again right now. So I'm like, oh boy, I know if I get attacked and have no one on my wall, I'm going to lose troops in my drill ground. So one strategy you can do is when you know you're about to get ashed or get attacked and you don't have a lot of troops in your drill ground, is you can use resource tiles or attacking someone far away, whatever it is, to just send out your units. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to send out, even though I have, and then I realized though, right, I'm about to do that. And I was like, oh, wait, I have no troops left in my drill ground to actually send anything out. So that didn't actually do anything. And here I'm like, all right, I didn't know where this lone wolf guy was that attacked me. And I want to find out. So I can pull up my combat report. And by opening up the combat report, I can then, I guess I do it a little bit later is when I actually identify. But let me speed it up a little bit. Grab this going. Just kind of checking what's going on. So here, so I have some troops to heal. All right, so here it is. Right, so you saw I opened up the combat report, and in the top left, let's go back a second. In the top left, there's the coordinates of where he is. So I can click on this and say, all right, where's this guy attacking me from? And you can see, boy, he is far away, right? I'm up here. He's attacking me from all the way down there. So this is another strategy that you can do if you have a limited number of troops. If you're concerned about going into the mud, you can park yourself further away. You can use resource tiles in the mud to send your troops up there, and then you can just start attacking. So I'm like, oh man, this guy. This guy he's being a little sneaky, right? So you can see in this case, right, I just heal some troops. So I have troops in my drill ground now. And what's going to happen is I'm going to end up getting attacked again from the same guy shortly. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm just kind of taking a look at what's going on right now. I have a troop coming back from the capital, or from attacking the capital. So he's got a friend now down there. And what I'm going to do now is what I described earlier. So I'm getting attacked again. You can see I get the notification. I'm like, oh crap, I just healed some troops. I have some troops in my drill ground. Let me send them out to the resource tile so that I'm not going to lose them when I get ashed. So as you can see, I send my troop out, even though it's not full, to that drill ground, because I know I'm about to get ashed. And this way I'm not going to lose those troops. And and here I go. So here I get ashed, but that allowed me to hold on to some troops. So what you want to do, once you do get ashed in a fight like this is where you want to take an opportunity to reset, right? You want to heal your troops up. You want to scout. You want to see what you're ready to do. And that's what I'm doing here, right? Like I'm just healing up all the troops in my hospital. I'm putting out the fire, and I'm creating more troops because I want to get back into the battle, and I want to have some stuff ready to fight. So at this point, as you're thinking about what you're doing right now, I'm going to use the free teleport, right? So as you know, this takes the capital fight takes place on a Saturday, which is also the same time that the enemy buster is going on. So I'm going to use that to get a free port. So this is the enemy buster server. I'm just going to park myself in a place where there's, far away from anyone, so I'm not going to get attacked. And now I'm going to go back, right? I'm going to go back. And what I've decided to do this time is get rid of these pesky people far away that are just ashing people and doing all that. So here is where I go in, and this is where, I'm trying to go for an attack. Now, normally when you are in the mud for the capital war, you can chain attacks, right? You can attack with one squad and then immediately attack again and again, and you can change direction. But for the contaminated lands around the city, even though it's during the capital war, you cannot chain attacks. So you can see, right, this guy was paying attention. So right as I'm hitting him, he teleports away. So now I'm trying to attack this guy with the same squad. But you can see I'm unable to do it because I'm, my squad. This has nothing to do with my base being on contaminated land. It has to do with the squad being on contaminated land. So I cannot chain that attack. So I'm going to have to send the same squad, and then I'm going to send a second squad in order to do that. So this guy, he doesn't have anyone on his wall. So in hindsight, I should have just sent all my squads to attack him at once, even though my third squad only had, very limited number of troops. But then I say, all right, now I'm going to get rid of this guy, and I'm going to move to the grass just because I can get there faster. I'm going to use an advanced teleport. It's always a good idea to have some advanced teleports stored away for these big fights as well. Just for prep. So that guy ports away right before I ash him. So I'm going to port here, and I'm going to start attacking this guy. And you can see once I'm on the grass, I actually do a second squad, and I was like, oops. So you can see I'm chaining attacks now. I can just spam attack with the same squad, and he ends up porting away. So I get rid of those guys there. So that was nice. And, at this point, gonna take a little bit of time because I just used my advanced teleport, and I just used my versus port. But yeah, eventually, like when you're going back in to the war zone, like you want to scout out, right? You want to scout where there are spots open in the mud. What can I do? Where should I land? And with the capital defense stuff, it's really, even if you have no troops on your wall, sometimes it's better to just port in and take up a slot, right? You can see all these ashed bases just taking up a spot. And that means that your opponents can't get in there to get a faster march. So yeah, there's a bunch of strategy involved there. So anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to show you in the video. Those are a bunch of different strategies that you can use, and hopefully maybe you learned a couple things that you can use in your future battles. For those that are curious, you can see this capital war. This took 2.5 hours. This was one of the most difficult and longest ones I've ever been a part of. We did lose. We did lose the capital defense. The city capture, however, this was about a 30-minute fight, and we did successfully capture the city, even with the really good positioning by the enemy that we were facing. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you have a good one.